And as I mentioned before we go off the air here, Slammiversary this upcoming Sunday, Slammiversary 2015. I don't care. TNA has given me no reason to care. I'm looking at the card right now. We have a King of the Mountain match with no contestants announced at all. That's embarrassing. We have the tag team title match, the best of 5 series, match number 5, which should be great. Wolves versus Dirty Heels. I'm looking forward to that. A knockouts handicap tag team title match, or between, it's a tag team handicap match, but it's also for the knockouts title. The Dollhouse versus Awesome Kong and Brooke. Whatever. James Storm and Magnus, that feud. It could be a great match, but the feud has been shit. Especially with the whole Mickie James dying thing, getting concussed. That was terrible. And then Robbie E versus Jesse. Again, I don't really care either. So this pay-per-view is complete throwaway. They're doing their big title match, which should have headlined this pay-per-view, which would have made this pay-per-view 10 times worth more watching. A lot more worth watching had they had that match headline this pay-per-view between Kurt Angle and Ethan Carter III. Instead, they're giving it out on an episode of Impact in the next couple of weeks for whatever reason. I have no idea why. Don't ask me why. Probably because they want to pop a rating, but it's such a huge risk for such a short-term gain. And why even going on pay-per-view? Serious question. Why even have a pay-per-view if you're not going to treat it with the importance that it deserves? And instead, you're just going to neglect it, throw a bunch of matches on there that no one gives a shit about. Why would you expect me to pay $40 to $50 for a shit-ass card, a fucking terrible card like this one? Not to hate on TNA, it's an honest-to-God question. Why would anyone buy this pay-per-view? There has been next to no hype for this show. It's the same exact thing for Bound for Glory last year, their biggest WrestleMania show of the year over in Japan. They didn't get 2 shits about Bound for Glory, and it was embarrassing to watch. I talked about it then. I'll talk about it now with Slammiversary. Why bother having a pay-per-view? Just stop embarrassing yourself. Take it off. Either hold the TNA title match, get some money from the pay-per-view. If you make no money off the pay-per-views, don't fucking hold the pay-per-views. It makes no sense. I just don't get it. TNA's thinking when it comes to this kind of shit, but I don't think I'll be watching live. I may be working anyway. Maybe I'll check it the next day. And I know that sounds hypocritical. Like, why would you have a pay-per-view? I review this shit. Like, if I didn't have to watch it, I probably wouldn't. But, like I said, I'll probably, if only, watch it for the tag team title match. Or, yeah, everything else to me, this King of the Mountain match sounds like a huge clusterfuck, especially with given that we know nobody else is in it. We know of no one else that is part of this matchup as of right now. And none of the other matches particularly, pique my interest. So we'll wait and see. If it exceeds the expectations, great for TNA. But for right now, I see absolutely zero reason why they should be holding a pay-per-view when they don't even give 2 craps about it and bother building up a pay-per-view that is worth, being called Slammiversary, one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year, where they celebrate the history of their company, blah, 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 blah. If you're not going to treat it with the importance it deserves, then why bother holding it?